Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. We have our lifecycle marketing expert, Misty Kortes. She's been uh, utilizing lifecycle marketing to grow her business for years now and has just seen such tremendous success. So we're very excited to have you, Misty.
Thank you. I am excited to be here. This is my second time with you, but I've been with several Infusionsoft employees, or Keap employees, I should say, over the last few months since we've, gone in our social distancing. So this has been fun for me.
Oh my gosh. The webinars have been such a great asset through the Keep Going initiative of basically a time when you can't really work in your business. What do you do to work on your business? And you were awesome. The last time we had you here was about, 4 or 5 weeks ago now, I want to say.
I know it's been a few weeks.
I
Yeah. And
know.
it was nice. I was able to share with everybody our team's approach to implementing lifecycle marketing in our business.
Right.
And so at that time, I shared the 9 campaigns that every service-based business needs. This epiphany came to me when I actually started implementing the fundamentals of my own business. I was a sort of certified partner of Keap for quite a while. And, I was building campaigns for businesses, but I was more of an order taker.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started actually surveying, I'm going to share my story behind that today with everybody. When I actually started surveying businesses and doing a marketing audit on their business, I realized that most of them weren't implementing the fundamentals.
Right.
And that's what, the epiphany came to me. And I said, we've got to get back to the basics. And when I did, for my own business, I went from $250,000 a year to over $630,000 in less than 12 months.
I love that.
It's
That's
like
so
huge.
exciting. I know, it's massive. And it's such an easy thing. You just got to take the time to look at your business and go through the phases and really set aside a process to execute on it. So it's really exciting. I'm so glad you're here to talk through it.
Thank you. Thanks again for bringing me back.
Of course. So we're going to talk through collecting leads today, which is basically the very first phase of lifecycle marketing. It encompasses targeting, attracting, and capture leads. So today we're going to talk specifically about how to turn your website into a lead generating machine. So some really great insights on how to use the tools you already have and are thinking about having in your business, and how to really use those methods to grow your lead capture methoding. So that's really awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I know people are still getting on. Do you want me to go ahead and dive in?
I think so. Yeah. People will be trickling in, I think, as we go.
Okay, perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much again for having me. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day and busy week as a business owner. I know what it's like to set time aside. And I'm just excited that you've committed to, to drilling down on lifecycle marketing more in your business. And so the first thing I would like everybody to do, if you could, just kind of go to the chat in the toolbar and drop your business. What do you do? Tell us a little bit more about you. I'd love to use your businesses as examples as I go throughout my presentation today. So knowing a little bit more about you will be helpful. And Rahel, for you, if any, so I kind of close out the chat and the Q&A while I'm presenting, because you know me, I always tell everybody, hold on to their britches, because I literally go 100 miles an hour. But if a question comes in, feel free to stop me, because I love that engagement. So if you guys have questions in real time, feel free to ask those. And then of course, towards the end of the presentation too, I'll set a little bit of time aside so we can so you can ask any questions that you might have. So feel free to drop those.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll make sure to relay anything that comes in through the chat. Really wanting to encourage interaction. One of the best parts about these live webinars is that Misty can address your questions and stuff as we go, so that it's really personalized to any questions you might have. So feel free to come in there. And yeah, I'm excited. Looks like we've already got a few in here. Natisha is a travel agent, and Lauren Harvey is in accounting. Yeah, and she wants to focus on understanding business and systems. So love Jazz Media from Jasmine. Yeah, we have a ton coming in here. So this is
awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I am excited to have the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and I'm sharing my screen. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the first 3 steps of life cycle marketing, which, like Rahel said, this is my 100 miles an hour talking.
No sweat. I've heard worse.
My mouth can't keep up with my brain. So we're going to be focusing on collecting leads for your business, which we all know as business owners is literally the lifeblood to our business. So without leads, we can't have sales, right? So that's the very first step. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to be sharing with you the best way to get your business in front of your perfect ideal customer while building an immediate trust and authority. I'm going to show you how you can actually bring more visitors to your website for free. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. I hope you get excited about that. And I'm actually going to share with you the 11 best strategies to help you capture the contact information of your website visitors so that it can help you grow your email marketing list. And I'm going to share the exact blueprint that I use to collect leads in my businesses every single day. And I say my businesses because I'm actually the founder of Your Marketing Coach, which is a marketing agency. I also co-own a business with my daughter. It's a graphic design business called Pug Shop Design. And then I have my personal brand, Misty Kortes. So each one of these businesses use these exact strategies. If you were to go out and search me on the internet and go to my websites, you'll see these strategies in play. So I'm not just teaching you what you should do. We are actually in the trenches doing it as well. I think that's really important that you hear that from marketers, because a lot of times as a business owner, you know, you can think, oh yeah, you tell me to do it, but I don't see it in play, you know, on your own website. You're going to see everything I share with you today in play on all of my websites. Okay. So the first thing that you need to do, I think it's worthy of saying before you create or implement any marketing campaign or strategy is, of course, you need to identify who is your perfect ideal customer. For a lot of business owners, you know, we have more than one perfect ideal customer. So every time you go into creating a campaign or you're thinking about a strategy or a tool that you want to use, you want to think about who is your perfect ideal customer. Now, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this because we've all heard this literally a bazillion times, but I truly believe that the success of your business is 100% tied to how well you know your perfect ideal customer. I call it the PIC, P-I-C. So the questions you should be asking yourself related to what we're going to be talking about today is, number 1, who is your perfect ideal customer? What problems or challenges are they struggling with right now? What questions do they have? And what solutions are they looking for? So once you answer those questions and you have complete clarity on who your perfect ideal customer is, the next thing that we want to do is ask ourselves, where can you best reach your perfect ideal customer? You know, the first step in lifecycle marketing process is to determine who you're targeting, right? So targeting includes 2 pieces. Number 1 is knowing who your perfect ideal customer is. And number 2 is identifying where you can best reach them. So let me give you a couple of examples of how you might be able to reach your perfect customer. You might find that your perfect customer attends networking events. Maybe they go to conferences. You might be referring or getting referrals from your happy, satisfied customers. You could get introductions to your perfect ideal customer through strategic power partnerships. Those are those partnerships of people who already serve your customer. Trade shows or events. And then of course, we've got the whole online environment. You could meet your perfect ideal customer through social platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. I mean, the list is literally a mile long. There's thousands of ways that you can target and reach your perfect ideal customer. Now, that leads me to my main point for today. While there's so many different ways that we can actually reach our perfect customers, here's what we know for sure. Your perfect ideal customer is searching for answers on the internet right now, literally as I speak. And it doesn't matter who your target audience is or what you sell, your customer is looking for answers and solutions to their most pressing questions right now. So what I'd like to do is share with you today how you can actually bring those people that are browsing on the internet looking for answers, how you can bring them over to your website. And then once they're there, I want to show you the best strategies that you can implement or deploy to help you capture their contact information so that you can grow your email marketing list. One of the little things I would recommend that you do, if you don't have Google Analytics on your website, you need to get that set up. If you don't know how to do that, get with the web developer that helped you set up your website and get that in place, because you will be floored at how many visitors you have going to your website every day, every week, every month, and yet how few leads you're actually capturing. That just goes to show you the proof that you haven't yet, until today, actually optimized your website. So we're going to give you the best strategies, and you're going to be blown away with the results that you get. Honestly, these things just simply work. So it's very likely that you've heard the term SEO, or search engine optimization, before, right? So if I were to ask you guys, and feel free, go ahead and drop in the chat, have you heard of SEO before? Just put a Y for yes, right? But if you're like a lot of small business owners, this strategy and term is something that it seems like almost Greek to us, right? I know the very first time I heard SEO, even being a marketing person, I didn't specialize in search engine optimization. I really didn't fully understand what it was. So I had to do my research, right? And search engine optimization, the simplicity of it is this. It's the process of getting free or organic, those are two words that are used typically when it comes to SEO, traffic to your website from search results on search engines like Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So that's a mouthful. It's the process of getting free organic traffic to your website from search results from search engines, okay? So the image that you're seeing here on the right is what's called a SERP, S-E-R-P. That stands for search engine result page. We've all seen pages like this before, right? If you've done any searches online, you've seen these kinds of result pages. Now the result pages differ depending on what you're searching, but this is an example of one that you might see. Now, our goal as a business owner should be to show up in the pages, in this list of pages as much as possible. I mean, if you look at this example here, I'm showing how to capture leads online, and you can see all the different websites that are that have shared an article related to that topic. So our goal should be to show up in that search result list. This is free exposure to your business. And when I say free, I say that in quotes, by the way, because it may be monetarily free to show up in those search results. You don't actually have to pay to be there, but it does take some time and effort, which I'm going to talk about here today. And like I said before, your perfect ideal customer is looking for answers right now. Why not give them the opportunity to find you in that list, right? So that's what we're going to chat about. So you might be wondering, well, how do you get your website to show up in searches, right? Well, first of all, the simplicity of search engine optimization, or being found in search results, is that the more blogs that you post on your website, the more chances that you have to show up in search results. I mean, think about it. If you have one blog, you have one way to be found. If you have 100 blogs, you have 100 ways to be found. Just makes sense, right? So the thing to understand, though, is that while you want to create a lot of content for your website, it's not just enough to post blogs to your site. You actually need to add some SEO to your pages as well. So I had so much information I had to share with you today. I was going to actually drill down on this subject, but I'll be honest, I really didn't think that we would have the time to do it justice. So what I did is I put together this guide I call the Beginner's Guide to SEO. So for most of us, SEO might sound a little bit intimidating, but it's actually quite simple if you know what to do. So this guide is a step-by-step guide that walks you through how to get your website's SEO off to the right foot. It's not going to make you an SEO expert, but it's going to put the foundational things, show you how to put the foundational things in place so that you can actually be found. And I actually share with you the exact things that you need to add to your pages, how to add them, the plugin to use, the easiest way to do it. I mean, this is an amazing, it literally is an amazing guide. And there's actually, you don't need to hire an SEO professional if you just follow the steps that I provided you in this guide. So if you want to get a copy of this, you can go to it's super long, yourmarketingcoachonline.com/SEO. So if you want to get a copy of this, this will tell you exactly how to put those on-page SEO elements so that the search engines know to bring you up in the search results. But aside from that, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to help you drill down on the strategies that you need to be able to capture the visitors once they actually do show up on your website. All right. So once you've identified who your perfect ideal customer is, and we know that we're targeting them by getting your business to show up in search result pages, right? The next thing that we need to do is determine how you're going to attract the attention of your perfect ideal customer so that you can get them to actually come over to your website. Because just showing up in the search result page is the first step, but getting them to actually click is a combination of a couple of things. Number one, the SEO, and number two is having the ability to be able to attract the attention of your perfect ideal customer. So in this step of lifecycle marketing, Keap actually uses an image of a jar of honey. I say this every time I talk about it because I love that they use honey, is because the honey is what you're using to attract, right? Now, there's two kinds of honey that you need to be able to attract the attention of your perfect ideal customer and to be able to grow your list. So there's ungated content, AKA honey, and there's gated content, right? So ungated content is the content used to bring visitors to your website. That is the content that you're sharing openly without someone having to give you their name and email in order to consume it. So those are things like blog articles, Facebook Live videos, YouTube videos, podcasts, social media posts, all of the content that you're creating to gain awareness for your business. And if you think about it, this is a little side note, think about it, Google owns YouTube, right? So when you create content, the more places that you share it, the more likely you are to show up in search results. If you actually, after this call here today, if you leave, go to Google and go search something. It doesn't matter really what it is, how to buy a car, how to make cookies, it doesn't matter. What you're gonna notice is that in the search results, you've got a combination of different types of content that's being displayed. You've got blog articles, you've got videos, you've got podcast or social media profiles, right? So if you think about it this way, the more ungated content that you create and the more places that you share that content, the more likely you are to show up in search results. I hope that makes sense. If not, please ask questions. So what you want to do is, that doesn't mean that you need to create separate content on all those different platforms. What you can do is you can create one piece of content and share it in multiple places. So oftentimes I recommend that our clients actually creates a blog article. They start with a blog article. And then I recommend to them is that they create a PowerPoint presentation to put with that blog. And they actually present the article in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. So now one piece of content that was created can now be shared in a couple different formats. So they've got their blog post, they've got their video that they created with their PowerPoint, and they've got their PowerPoint slide that they could share on LinkedIn on SlideShare. They have created literally 3 pieces of content to share in 3 different locations, and now have 3 different ways that they can show up in search results. Am I making sense, guys? I hope so. Secondly, gated content. Gated content is the content that you use to attract the attention of your website visitor. So the ungated content brings them over to your website, right? That's how you show up in the search results. And then the gated content is the content that you use to attract their attention once they're on your site. And you want to use that gated content to offer your visitor an exchange. So you're saying to them, hey, I'll give you a guide, a checklist, a PDF download, maybe even a training video, right? I'll give you this content, often referred to as lead magnets. I'm sure you've heard that term before. I will give you this in exchange for your name and email. Okay? So again, You're using ungated free content to bring visitors to your site. And then once they show up on your site, you need to have lead magnets that actually capture the leads once they land on your website. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Drop it in the chat. So what I'd like to do now is I want to share with you the 11 best strategies that you can deploy to actually help you capture the contact information of the visitors that you're able to bring over to your website. And Rahel said it, I refer to this as turning your website into a lead generating machine. And it literally will. As I go through these examples, I'm actually showing you an example of a blog I wrote at the beginning part of this year. And it helps give you an exact example of how we turn our website into a lead generating machine. Okay, so there's 11 strategies. Strategy number 1 is one that we have found tremendous success with. So you can add a survey or a quiz to your website. So here's an example of one. You know, if you think about it, you see these all the time on social media. People love to participate in survey and quizzes, especially ones where they are able to gain a little bit of insight about themselves. So this was a survey that we actually used a few years ago. This was right about the time that we were implementing lifecycle marketing in our business. So this survey walked our visitors through a marketing audit that I had created. The audit was actually typically part of my discovery calls when I met with business owners. So I would get on a call with them and I would go through a series of questions to kind of learn more about their business, what was working, what wasn't. So what I did is I took that survey and I created it into a survey on our website. So this was an opportunity for me to be able to learn more about their business before our call, so that once I got on the call, I could actually dive a little bit deeper. So through this survey, I began to understand that most of the businesses that showed up on our website actually didn't have the fundamentals in place, right? They didn't have a way to capture leads online. They had a small email marketing list of usually 1,000 people or less. Usually they ranged under 500, and they weren't actually advertising in their business consistently to gain awareness. So not only did this survey help us capture leads, it also helped me gain better insight as to how we could better serve our customers and where we needed to focus our efforts. Through this survey, I was able to identify, oh my gosh, like we need to go back to the fundamentals. And that's what actually helped spark us to start implementing the fundamentals first in our clients' businesses. Because like I said, prior to that, we would get businesses that would contact us and they would say, we were basically order takers. They would contact us and they would say, I need this kind of campaign. And I didn't really ask a whole lot of questions. I said, okay, we can help with that. And then we would proceed forward. Well, little did I know, I didn't realize I didn't do a good job as their coach, learning more about where they were at in their business to actually be able to coach them and guide them. I was simply just taking an order and we were implementing, but I figured out later that it wasn't serving our customers as best as we could. This survey helped us gain that insight. So this is huge. Strategy number 2 is that you should add an exit intent pop-up to your website. Now, go ahead, if you hate pop-ups, get it out. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Say, I hate pop-ups, hate pop-ups. I get it. Like I every time I bring up pop-ups to small business owners and entrepreneurs, they're like, I hate them. I hate them. But here's the deal. First of all, we're not our customer. Second of all, they just flat out work. I could literally show you study after study on how pop-ups can help increase conversions. Bottom line is they actually work, so you need to have them on your website. So specifically, an exit intent pop-up is the kind of pop-up that when your visitor is on your site, if they go to leave your site at any time, this pop-up comes up. And this is one that we are actually using on our website right now. It's working amazing. It just says, wait, before you go, get instant access to my free online coaching program to help you plan your success in 2020 and beyond. Click here to learn more. And it takes them over to our landing page where they can actually opt in to that free coaching program. This has worked really, really well. We've actually since the lockdown, we've actually seen over 50% more people opting into this content, because I think, you know, people have more time on their hands. They're spending more time at home, and they're consuming way more content. So get a pop-up on your website. Now, the key about adding an exit intent pop-up, I would recommend that when you add it, make sure that you customize your pop-up to the pages on your site. So as an example, this is one that we use on the home page of our website. Because if someone lands on the home page of our website, we literally have our programs listed out there and how we can help them. If they go to leave, this is the first place that I recommend that they start with us anyways, is to get some clarity around what they want to accomplish. And this program helps them do it. So don't just add a pop-up to your website like a generic one, because I'll see oftentimes I'll go to websites and they'll just have a generic pop-up that has nothing to do with the page that I landed on. And to me, I don't think that that's going to serve that business as well as if you customize your offer to the page that they land on. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to be talking more about that as we drill down a little bit more into these strategies. So exit intent pop-up. You can also add the pop-ups where it comes up after a certain period of time, like after someone's been on your website for 6 seconds or whatnot. One of the things I love about our pop-up software, we use Thrive themes for our website building, and Thrive has the pop-up builder built right into the theme, which I love. And it allows me to be able to set, I can have this pop-up show up every time someone shows up to my website, or I can actually have it show up maybe once every 30 days or once every year. I mean, I can set the criteria. So it allows you a lot of customization, so that way your pop-up isn't like becoming an annoyance to people who are visiting your site. It's just something that you leverage and use to actually capture their contact information before they leave your site. All right, strategy number 3. So I just added this page literally a couple months ago. It was, I think it was back in January, February of this year. We added a free marketing resource page. So I realized on my blogs, we were getting opt-ins from pretty much the same lead magnets. Like there was, you know, ones that performed better than the others. And I thought, why am I making this hard for people to get our free content? I mean, my goal is to grow my email marketing list. So why not make it as easy as possible for them to get it? So I added this page, free marketing resources. It says, here's some free resources you can use to help gain some serious momentum in growing your business. Enjoy. And I literally, if you were to be able to scroll down this page, you'll see I have like 6 or 9 different lead magnets that I offer. So someone can literally go there, identify what their biggest challenge is, and then I've got a free resource that they can opt into. What I found is that people they'll start at the top of the page, they'll opt into one, and then they'll move directly to the next one and the next one and the next one. So I'll get someone that opts in like 3 or 4 times in a row, which is awesome. It just tells me that we figured out you know, where our customers need help most. And this is a great way to display all that content in an easy way for them to take advantage of it.
So Misty.
Yeah.
Lauren asked a question, is free a good word to use? And this has come up at our company too. Just, does it send the right message about what we're offering? Does it diminish the value? So can you talk a little bit on that piece?
You know, I've seen people making comments, but to be honest with you, I haven't seen any studies actually done, free versus not. I haven't seen any A/B testing. I personally haven't done any A/B testing.
Right.
As a general rule of thumb, when I use the word free, I will oftentimes add a little, like in parentheses, like this is a $97 value or $240 value, so that I'm still illustrating the value of the content that I'm giving away. But I can't really speak to whether or not the word free increases or decreases the amount of opt-ins. I've heard people talking about it. I won't get on my soapbox. I just think people sometimes make assumptions just because they want to have something different to say.
Right.
So I haven't seen any studies to prove that it's not performing as well. Okay. So until I see that, we still use it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hope that helps. Good question. Awesome. Okay, Strategy number 4 is to give your visitors an opportunity to subscribe to your blog. Now I threw this strategy in, not because we're not seeing a huge uptick of people actually subscribing to our blog. What we find is that people who have been consuming our content for a period of time, they will tend to be the ones that will subscribe to the blog. And the reason why they do that is because now once they've subscribed to something of ours, they get a taste for the quality of content that we create, right? And so it might not be the first thing that they opt into, but they definitely become fans of our content. So we want to give them an opportunity to subscribe so that they never miss anything. And I literally have that message. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our blog to discover, how we can help you, grow your business. So we add that in. I think that when it comes to blogs, I've actually seen a decrease. I've seen it in our own business. I've seen it with clients' businesses. People aren't subscribing to blogs the way they used to. And I think the reason is because blog content is a very generic, like subscribe to my blog is like subscribe to my newsletter. You don't really know what you're getting. All you know is that you're opting into getting more stuff in your inbox, and people really just don't want more stuff. I leave this on our website because our fans, the people who have consumed our content, they end up subscribing to the blog because they want to keep getting our stuff repeatedly, if that makes sense. Strategy number 5 is, I'm going to dive more now into the actual blog. So when you're writing a blog on your website, how do you turn that blog article into a lead generating machine, literally? So the first thing I recommend that you do is make sure that you add social share icons. That is super hard for me to say without slurring my words and sounding like I've had a few too many martinis. But social share icons are the icons where when your visitor clicks on that icon, they can click on the little F and it pops up the Facebook box and it allows them to share your article on that social platform without actually leaving your website. Now, this won't help you capture more leads, but it does help you get more awareness, because if your visitors are sharing your articles, it gives you more exposure on those social platforms, which in turn can obviously bring more visitors to your site. And if your site is optimized to capture those leads, of course you can capture more leads. So that's the first thing. Now, a common mistake that I see business owners making, and I've been saying this literally for years, I never understood why web developers would add social connect buttons to a website. So a share allows you to share the content without leaving the site. A connect button, if I were to add that in the footer of my website or in the header of my website or in the side margin of my blog, if the visitor shows up to my blog and clicks that little F, guess what happens? They leave your website and they head over to Facebook to be lost forever. You have no chance at competing with their friends' post of puppies, kittens, and babies. It's just not gonna happen. I do not know why connect buttons were added to sites. I know the intention was, well, I want to build my social following, but why on earth would we ever ask our visitor to leave our website? Ever, right? We spend so much time, energy, and money trying to get people to our website, we should never ask them to leave. So there's a difference between the social share and the social connect. The connect, again, allows you the share allows you to share the content. The connect is where they leave your site to go over to the social platform. So what do you do instead? Because the next question I always get from businesses is, well, I want to build my social following, so how do I do that, Misty? Well, this leads me to strategy number 6. What you do want to do is add what's called the Facebook like box. There's also an Instagram like box. I think there's a LinkedIn like box, or there used to be. It's been a while since I've added that. There's a Google Plus like box. So pretty much all the platforms have the ability where you can add a like box in the side margin of your blog. So here I'm actually showing our social like box for Facebook. It's located in the right side margin of my blog. If you were to go over there, you'll see it. A couple of things I want to point out here is that, first of all, you'll notice at the top, it has our page and our icon, right? You'll see that below in the gray area, it says liked. So that means I've liked my own page, right? And then beneath that, it shows that I have 355 friends that have liked my business. Now, I say this every time, I clearly need more friends because 6 of those people are my family members. But the cool thing about the social like box, especially Facebook's, is that it allows your visitor to be able to like your page while they stay on your website. They can actually scroll and see most recent posts, which is super cool, so they can see the quality of the content that you're sharing. And it actually shows images of their friends. If any of their friends have followed your page, it's going to show them in that page or in that section there. So it actually carries some social influence. I mean, imagine if you were having a baby. We just had a good friend of ours who had a baby, right? And she goes to a website that sells strollers, and they on their Facebook or on their blog have the Facebook like box. And she sees, oh, 17 of my friends have liked this page. That carries a lot of weight in her decision as to whether or not she is going to follow that business or take that business seriously, right? So that carries a huge weight. So this is a great way to get people to follow you on your social platforms so that you have another way to communicate with them, but you're not actually asking them to lead or leave your site. Now, again, while this won't help you capture leads for your email marketing list, it actually is helping you capture a follower that you can now communicate in another place. So email marketing is a great place, obviously a great tool to leverage in your marketing messages, but having another platform like Facebook is a great thing to have in your arsenal too, so that you have another way to communicate. And again, I'm pretty sure all of the social platforms have these like boxes available. Okay, so scrolling down the blog, strategy number 7 is what I call a sidebar ad. Now, a lot of times when you'll go to websites, it's annoying. You'll see advertisers advertising in those areas, right? That's Google PPC and AdWords and that they're displaying. Well, I would challenge you as a business owner to use that space for your own advertisement, right? So what you can do is you can use the space to advertise an upcoming event, run an ad for a special promotion that you're running, maybe get visitors to sign up for an upcoming webinar that you're offering, or you could give something away for free like I'm doing here in exchange for their contact information. So here you can see in my right margin, I have a free download. Get your hands on the top tools and resources successful entrepreneurs use to build, market, and grow their businesses. So they can opt into that free lead magnet. So I recommend that if you're going to utilize these areas, make sure that you're creating custom offers according to the topic of the blog that they land on. Because if you're giving them additional resources that kind of expands on that topic, you're more likely to get increased conversions, okay? Strategy number 8. So again, I'm just scrolling down this blog, and if you were to go to my website right now, you'll see these ads all there, okay? So strategy number 8 is adding what I call inline text ads. So these are just basically images that I've created that when you click them, it creates a pop-up, right? It either creates a pop-up or it sends them over to a landing page. So in this particular article, the article is all about building your email marketing list. So I've got my right side margin, I've got my social media, like box, and then as you scroll down the page, I think I have like somewhere between 3 to 5 different lead magnets that I offer that's in alignment with the conversation that I'm having as part of my blog. So here, chapter 6 in this particular blog is about choosing a lead magnet that converts. Well, this blog was already like a mile long. It was like super beefy. So rather than trying to put all that information into the blog, what I did is I just created these PDF downloads that I give away. So they can download 69 irresistible lead magnet ideas to help them grow their email marketing list. So it's just another opportunity for me to capture a lead and give them a resource that helps them in relation to the article that I'm sharing.
Misty, we got one question from Rodney who says, where can we learn more about the boxes?
So if you just go to Google and type in Facebook like box, it'll come up in your search and it'll tell you how to implement it onto your WordPress site.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. You can do the same for Instagram like box. I think the last time I put it on a client's site, it was a plugin. It was a WordPress plugin.
Okay.
Facebook has their own code that you can put on your site, but Instagram, I think it has to be a WordPress plugin. Good questions. Okay. Strategy number 9 is very similar to the previous strategy I just shared. So the one I just shared is an inline text ad. So it's like an image ad, right? And then you have inline text links. So links, the reason why you do links is because links help increase your SEO. If you download my SEO for beginners, it'll tell you all the reasons why links are important to Google and search engines, right? Like Google. So inline text links is basically, as you're writing your blog, you might have another blog article on your site that you want to reference because it'll give them additional information. So what you can do is you can link your text to that blog, or if you want, you can link that text to a pop-up. So I have, check out this demo on Keap to learn how it can help you scale and grow your business. So when they click it, a pop-up comes up and they can fill that out and actually watch a video demo that I've created, right? So you can use it 2 ways. One, to link to other blogs, which you should do. Your blog should always link to other resources on your site. It helps with your SEO. And 2, you can also link it to a pop-up or a landing page so that they can actually opt into whatever your call to action is. All right, we're moving along. So if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I'm on strategy number 10. So again, as you're scrolling down the page, strategy number 10 is to use the footer of your blog for another call to action. So I call this the footer CTA. So here I have implement a proven system to help to start and grow your email list, even if you're starting from scratch. So actually this call to action isn't a free resource. This is a paid resource. So I have a program called my 30-day list building challenge. So in this call to action, basically what I'm doing is saying, hey, I've just told you everything you need to do, but if you still need help, you can go here and learn more about my 30-day list building challenge. And when they click that, it takes them over to my sales page where they can learn more about my program, right? So your call to actions don't always have to be free resources. You can also link to some of your programs or products or services that you offer as well. Don't be afraid to do that. I mean, it's really about the mentality I have whenever I create a blog is I'm going to give you all of the information I can inside the blog or in PDFs that are free to help you solve the problem I've claimed that the blog article will help you with. And I'm just going to link to whatever resources I have available. Some of those resources are ungated content, other blog articles. Some of that content is gated content that I reserve only for people who are willing to join my email marketing list. And those are the PDFs and downloads and checklists that I offer. And then some of those links are linking out to actual programs to help them take the next step forward. So utilize your call to action on your blog to send them to multiple resources. Don't be afraid to do that. Now, one thing I would recommend is that if you're writing blog articles and your articles are all just leading to a sales page, this is just an opinion. Again, I don't have proof of it, but I don't think you're going to get the readership and the opt-ins that you would get if you are giving away content for free. So do a nice blend of it, right? Free content, ungated content, and links to your sales pages. Don't just link to sales pages. And then strategy number 11, it was weird. We were, we were writing blogs, and I didn't have, people would ask me, they would actually email me. So they would opt into something, and then they would email me back, and they were like, hey, I love your blogs. How can I get access to more of them? And I went, oh, that's actually a really good question, because in my initial thought process was, I'm not going to give people, a lot of times you'll go to someone's blog and it'll have like a category on the right margin where they can go and browse multiple blogs. And I didn't offer that intentionally, because I wanted them to subscribe to my blog. And I thought that would be a great way to do it. But what I realized is that I really, just because someone lands on one blog on my website doesn't mean that I've given them enough information so that so I'm building trust and authority with them. So I added this little widget at the bottom of my blogs that just says other posts you might like. And basically what it's doing is this plugin automatically pulls my blogs based on topics. So if you look at these, remember the main blog, the reason why they came to my site to begin with was about building their email marketing list. And the other blog posts that it's recommending are also other posts about email marketing, right? So what's a CRM and how to use it, lifecycle marketing and email marketing laws and regulation. So it will automatically recommend posts that are related to the same category. So when you add that category on your blogs, it knows which ones to recommend. Okay, so those are the 11 strategies to help you turn your website into a lead generating machine. So what I did here, I call this the blueprint. I'm a very linear thinker. It's weird because I'm a creative person. So it's not normal. We're usually, kind of like a rubber band ball. and sometimes I can be. But in this particular blueprint, basically it's kind of like step by step what's happening, right? So first of all, you got to identify who your perfect ideal customer is. We talked about that. Then you got to commit to writing some blogs and posting them to your website. But again, creating content and putting it on your blog, while it may show up in search results, if you really want to ensure that you have a better chance of showing up in search results, you need to make sure that you optimize the blog with keywords and things like that. Download that beginner's guide to SEO, because that's going to help you optimize the blog so that search engines can crawl your website and actually increase your chances of showing up in the results. Of course, that's the next snapshot is, so if you want to show up in the search results, you got to write the blog, you got to optimize the blog with SEO, and then you have a better chance of showing up in the search result pages. And then the last step in the blueprint is making sure that if you're going to go through all that work, because we all know if you've ever wrote a blog or an article or a PDF before, if you do a good job, it takes time, it takes effort. So if you're going to write the blog, you've got to optimize it with the SEO, and you might as well turn it into a lead generating machine. I see businesses all the time. I'll go to their website and they give away great content in the form of a blog, but they don't have a way to capture leads. They don't have an exit intent pop-up. They don't use the sidebar of their ads. They don't use pop-ups in their blogs. They don't have the footer call to action. I mean, there's virtually no way for me to take another step with them after I read their blog. I basically read the blog and then I leave, and never to be seen again or heard of again, right? So if you're going to go through that, make sure that you optimize it. And that is the blueprint.
Love it.
Awesome. So you want me to go through what they should do? Here's my kickoff. I'm a coach, right? So it's all about implementing what you learn.
Do it.
Okay. All right. And while I'm going through this, make sure that if you have any questions, now's your time to ask, okay? So what should you do now? First of all, make a list of all the questions that you most commonly hear from your prospects and customers. That's a great place to start. One of the questions businesses always say is, okay, Misty, you've convinced me. I know I need to start blogging. I'm going to do it. What do I talk about? So the best thing to do is make a list of all the questions you commonly hear and start there. Because if you're getting those questions, chances are they're searching for those answers online anyways.
Right.
So you might as well do that. And they become a resource you can refer to in your sales process. Next, when you write your blog, write them in batches. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you're writing them. The hardest blog to write is the first one. And no matter, I've literally written hundreds of articles, hundreds and hundreds of training programs. And I'll tell you, every time I sit down, the first one takes the longest. It's like, I might be 2 hours into writing one blog and I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get these done. But then all of a sudden, once I get in my groove, I can literally, I was just talking to a client yesterday and she said, well, how many blogs is it realistic that I can write in a day? I said, you're knowledgeable in what you do. It's really just getting over the mental block, and you could knock out 6 blogs in a day.
Yeah.
And that's what I recommend that you do is when you go to write your blogs, don't try to write 1 a week because it's going to be a lot harder. Try to write 4 or 6 in a day and then be done for the month. And that leads me to this. Once you write your blogs, auto schedule your blogs to post. So you can actually choose a date in the future to post. Or if you don't have a blog right now, write all those blogs and backdate them. Like you can post them a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? So that you can get all that content out there right away. Then drive immediate awareness or traffic by posting your blogs to your social media profiles. And I know there's a lot of controversy about whether you should boost post or run an ad and all that crap. Here's the deal. Like, don't complicate this. Post the blog. You'll get some, very little, but you'll get some organic free reach, right, on your social platforms, and then boost it for $10 and see what it does. You'll be surprised at how much $10 can actually put your article in front of your perfect ideal customer and get traffic to your site. And you'll start getting some leads from that. And then last but not least is download my beginner's guide to SEO and start optimizing your blog so that you can show up in those search results.
Love it. We got a couple questions.
Awesome.
So Jeremy asks, does this strategy vary for an e-commerce website that sells physical products instead of services?
No. And actually, I have a whole training I did one day. It like dawned on me. I don't sell physical products in my business. Right. Mm-hmm. Long story short, here's what happened. I needed to create better quality videos for my business and my training programs. And so I wanted to buy a teleprompter. So I bought this teleprompter. Ordered it on Amazon. I'm not a techie person. I don't like setting crap up. My husband usually always does all that stuff for me.
Right.
But he wasn't available. So here's Misty ordering a teleprompter and trying to set this darn thing up, right? And I realized as I was setting this up, oh my gosh, I could literally take this teleprompter, share videos and downloads and my story about setting up my teleprompter and what I learned, because it wasn't just about having the teleprompter. You needed an app for your phone and you needed a tablet to attach to it so that it showed your, your script. And I realized, and I'm a little slow sometimes. The person who sells products probably already gets this. Selling information with products is so much more valuable to the consumer. And if you think about it, think about Stitch Fix. They sell clothes,
right?
But they sell knowledge and experience through their stylist with clothes, and they can sell it for a lot higher margins. So I would challenge you, if you're in e-commerce, think about how you could package knowledge with the product. Maybe it's setting something up. Maybe it's teaching them something else. I don't know what the product is, but package it together and you can actually increase your margins because you create content once and sell it over and over again. It's huge.
Love it. Craig asks, would you have the name of the plugin that places the blog post image below your latest post?
Okay, so if you're in your WordPress site and you go to add a plugin, and you can do a search for plugins in there, I would add, I think you can use Jetpack to do it. Jetpack.
Okay.
I believe it does it. And it also has an auto scheduler. It has some really cool features. Or you could just type in like recommended, I'm terrible at searching, but recommended blog posts,
Yeah.
The theme I use, Thrive theme, it has it natively. I talk about it all the time. I sound like I'm a representative of theirs and I'm not. But I just love their tools because they literally, they built a theme that's built for marketers.
Okay.
So it's awesome.
Awesome. Well, let me go ahead and just share with the attendees that you can catch this replay and all of our other webinar replays in a link I'm about to attach to the chat. So if you want to see any other historical webinars around lifecycle marketing, I will I will emphasize the question that Jeremy asked, which is lifecycle marketing is a method that works for any and all businesses all the time.
100%.
It's basically a mindset and a methodology that you have to exercise and execute. Now, the how is always going to be different based on what industry you're in, but the fundamentals never change. They never change, and it's just about execution and perseverance, and you will see growth and success in that. And so I really love the question about whether or not this applies in an e-commerce industry versus something that has, like a service-based company or whatever. So that's a really great thing. I'm so happy you could be here today, and I'm so glad you get to be here for the next couple weeks.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So next week we're going to be talking through converting clients, which is like, now you've got the leads, but you want them to purchase from you, that you want them to be your loyal customers. So it's basically converting leads into sales and setting up a sales process and pipeline, which is critical. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. You would be floored if I were to be able to share some of the discovery calls I do with clients.
Right.
And I ask them, how big is your marketing list? And they're like, oh, I really need to focus on getting more leads. I'll have people who will say, oh, I have 5,000 people on my list. And I'm like, you have 5,000 people on your list? Why do you need more leads? You need to work the leads you got, right? Now, if your list is 500 or less, you need to work the leads you got, and you need to build your marketing list.
Exactly.
But it's shocking to me. I think sometimes we get in this mindset of I need leads. And I would challenge that thinking. Honestly, I built a business. I'll share my story next week when we do our call, but I built a business of $250,000 as a solopreneur on a list of 600 people. So I did that for like almost 4 years before I decided that I was going to grow my team and scale my business and do all the things I'm doing today. But back then, when I was a solopreneur, I made a great living off a small list. Right. And that's because I had the mindset that I wasn't just going to capture leads. I was actually going to nurture those leads in the relationship and convert them into customers.
Critical part of the journey. And there's this other really exciting element too, Misty. I don't know if I've shared this with you yet, but we've just launched the Lifecycle Marketing Assessment. On our website. So I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat also. But what it allows is for business owners to go through this assessment, identify any gaps or opportunities that they have for improvement, and be able to implement right away. And it's just really great for business owners to start thinking about their business in a different way, what they can be doing to improve it, especially during this time of kind of so much uncertainty. So I'm going to post that. It's been a really successful asset so far. So that is.
Yeah, I'll complete transparency.
Yeah.
You guys had created I think you called it a marketing scorecard years ago. I don't even know, like 6-7 years ago. And that very first strategy I shared, that survey, that's actually where that stemmed from. I opted into that scorecard way back in the day, and I was like, this is genius. So I kind of massaged it, made it my own, and incorporated it into our business and our discovery calls. So guys, that is a gem of a tool. It really is. It helps you give you insight as to what's working in your business and where there's holes and opportunities for you to focus your efforts.
Yeah. And it says, it gives you this opportunity to think, I just never thought of targeting leads that way, or I never thought of this. Creating fans is always a lot of fun because a lot of business owners don't see the opportunity at that point.
Yeah.
So very exciting stuff. I'm so excited to have you for the next few weeks. I think we're getting a ton of great feedback. Daniel Lyon said, very groovy content, really like the headband. And Daniel, I think you might know.
I might be dating myself in that picture. I may have been born in the 70s.
Oh, that's so funny. And just lots of good. Jody says this was awesome. Great info. And Charlotte said, tons of info. I have work to do, which is always what we want to hear. Opportunity awaits. There's always time for growth and improvement. So very exciting stuff.
Yeah. And I would say, as one final thought is, listen, don't get down on yourself.
Right.
It's that old saying of Rome wasn't built in a day. Your business isn't going to be built in a day. Our business, our business isn't perfect. We're
Right.
constantly evolving and growing and learning, right? Just take one concept and implement it today. That's
Right.
it. I mean,
That's how
yeah,
growth happens. Exactly.
exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Misty.
Thank you, Rahel. It was awesome. And guys, everybody sign up for next week too. I'll be here same day, same time next week.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
All
Have a good
right.
day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.